Hello guys, it's Janki and welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be sharing my immature knowledge on how to get into reading. So this is the most basic video a booktuber can do. It's so basic that you don't even need to do it. I decided to do this because I often see people asking recommendations to me, and when I ask them back that what kind of things do you like reading so that I can recommend a good book to you, they are often clueless about that, and I think it would be better if I share some of my tips that helped me get into reading more books. I think if it worked for me, it may work for you as well. If you genuinely want to get into reading, I hope these tips help you, and without any further ado, let's get into it. The first tip I have for you all is choose the correct genre. So now it's very important that you start with the kind of book that you know you like to a certain extent, and for that matter, choosing the correct genre is very important. And if you find yourself not being able to decide what genre to pick up, it's very simple to determine that. You just recollect what kind of movies do you like to watch. If it's adventurous, if it's comedy, it's thriller, it's rom-com, whatever you like watching in movies, the highest probability is that you'll love that kind of book as well. And even if you think that genres are too vast for you to grasp their whole meaning or a sense, you could go for a particular trope. So tropes are basically these common recurring themes that occur in different books. So for example, a very common and famous trope can be the chosen one. So the Harry Potter, he's the chosen one, so that is the chosen one trope. Then we also have found family trope. You all know what found family means, right? So you could also go for certain tropes that you like, and then you can see and browse some book recommendations that has those tropes in it. So yes, that was my first tip, picking up the correct genre. Now moving on to our next tip, it is picking up a moderately sized book. I think this is something different from what others may tell you, like pick up a small book, but I personally feel that you shouldn't pick a small book. I think the book should be moderately sized, because what happens in a small book, according to me, is that you often find that certain elements or certain things that you wanted to happen in that book are missing. So for instance, if you read a 250 pages long book and you find that the plot was amazing but you got nothing much about the characters, or vice versa. So I think most of the small books that I have read had the same issues with it, and so I personally recommend that pick a moderately sized book so that it contains most of the elements that a book should contain, if that makes sense. And by that I do not mean to say that all small books are like that. Some of the small books that I haven't read personally yet, but there are, I'm sure, some books that are small and are worth reading as well. I'm not disregarding their value. So yes, that was the second tip. Also, it's not another tip because I don't think it should be added into something else, but if you are a person who's comfortable listening to books, audiobooks are the best, because audiobooks, the narrators of those audiobooks create a very good experience of reading for you, and also you can use audiobooks when you are doing other stuff as well. So now moving on to the tip number 3 is don't try to comprehend everything. So I came up with this tip because I remember my friend reading one of the books, I don't remember which, and she was like, I'm not able to get what's going on. I had to read the last few pages so many times. And then I thought, okay, now that I've read these many books, I have this general understanding that you don't need to comprehend everything that you're reading. Like, just read forward. The things that happened previously that you weren't able to comprehend will make sense automatically. You don't need to go and read in between the lines and gauge the meaning of it, because we already have enough academic books for that. The tips that I'm giving you is for reading for fun and not to pressurize yourself to understand what's going on. I suggest you all to give it time. Don't try to comprehend everything and it'll be just fine. The tip number 4 for you all is have a little patience. The beginning of the book is very crucial, I guess. Getting to the book is very crucial because it will determine whether you'll read it further or not. And so I think you should have a little patience. Patience for, I think, at least 50 to 60 pages if it's a 300-400 pages long book, so that you get to know what's going around, so that you can gauge what will be happening in future. That should be a mantra for you, that you should have a little patience while you begin a book. I'm not telling you to read if you not like it. I'm just saying that at the beginning, just have a little patience. Coming on to tip number 5 and the last tip, it is DNF. And by DNF, I mean do not finish. So this is something paradoxical to what I previously told in my last tip. So I mean DNF when you think that once you've gotten into the book, you get a hang of things that are going around, and then you find yourself zoning out. You don't want to read further, and you're just dragging yourself just for the sake of completing the book because you have started the book. So that is one of the reader's guilt, that since I've started a book, I have to finish it. But that shouldn't be the case. You have the full right to not finish that book halfway through the book, 80% through the book, even 20% if I'm being honest. But my last tip may sound useless then. But whatever the matter, I think it is very important to leave the book if you find yourself not following what's going around. Because if you drag yourself through a book that you are not liking, I'm very, very sure there are 80 to 90% chances that you'll not even pick another book, because you will form a general conception that maybe all the books are like that, and that's not the case. And so I recommend to DNF whenever you feel you are not following through the book. So yes, I think these are all the tips that helped me get into reading much more, and I hope that it helps you as well. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment if you liked the video, and see you all next time.